The screen flickers as Mark Watney calculates his remaining rations. The plot thickens when he realizes the arithmetic of survival is failing. He is alone on a dead planet, and his only hope is to turn a sterile habitat into a living lung. He stares at a single vacuum-sealed potato, knowing that if a single pathogen enters his makeshift pressurized greenhouse, his life ends. This scene represents the ultimate agricultural crisis, the moment where plant immunity becomes more valuable than gold. In this desperate silence, the concept of systemic acquired resistance SAR is born. On Earth, we don't face Martian soil, but we face invisible wars against blight and drought. The aspirin trigger is the secret weapon that allows a gardener to mimic this survival instinct, tricking a plant into thinking it is under attack, so it can build an impenetrable fortress of biological defense. Chapter 2. The Chemistry of Survival. Before Watney could plant his first crop, he had to understand the language of plant stress. Plants cannot run from danger. They must fight with chemistry. At the heart of this battle is salicylic acid, a naturally occurring compound that acts as a signaling hormone. When a leaf is bitten by a bug or infected by a fungus, it sends out an emergency flare of salicylic acid to the rest of the plant. This is the aspirin trigger. It tells the distant roots and stems to prepare for war. By manually applying a diluted aspirin solution, we are essentially sending a fake emergency signal. The plant reacts by thickening its cell walls and producing antimicrobial proteins before the enemy even arrives. It is a biological preemptive strike, ensuring that when the real threat finally lands, the plant's internal shields are already at maximum capacity and ready. Chapter 3. Priming. The genetic engine. The science behind the aspirin trigger lies in a process called priming. Think of it as a professional athlete warming up before a championship game. When a plant is exposed to low doses of acetylsalicylic acid, active ingredient in common aspirin, triggers a genetic shift. The plant doesn't waste energy by fully engaging its defenses immediately. Instead, it enters a state of high alertness. Its metabolism becomes more efficient, and its DNA becomes more accessible for rapid protein synthesis. This state allows the plant to respond to actual pathogens with twice the speed and intensity of an unprimed neighbor. In the movie, Watney's survival depended on the efficiency of his potatoes. In your garden, this priming means your tomatoes can survive a sudden, humid morning that would usually invite blight, simply because their genetic engine was already idling and ready to accelerate. Chapter 4. Strengthening the cell walls. One of the most immediate physical effects of the aspirin trigger is the fortification of the plant's physical structure. When the signal is received, the plant begins a process called ligno. It starts depositing extra lignin and cellulose into its cell walls, making them tougher and more fibrous. This is the equivalent of a medieval castle raising its drawbridge and reinforcing its stone walls. For a fungus to infect a plant, it must physically penetrate the leaf surface with a specialized probe. By using the aspirin hack, you make that penetration significantly harder. The tougher walls also make the plant less tasty to sucking insects like aphids or whiteflies, who prefer soft, easy-to-pierce tissue. This physical barrier is the first line of defense in the SAR response, turning a soft, vulnerable sprout into a rugged survivor capable of weathering biological sieges. Chapter 5. The Antimicrobial Protein Blitz. Beyond physical walls. The aspirin trigger activates a chemical laboratory within every leaf. Once the salicylic signal spreads, the plant begins producing pathogenesis-related PR proteins. These are specialized enzymes, designed to seek and destroy the molecular structure of fungi and bacteria. Some of these proteins act like tiny scissors, cutting through the chitin in a fungus's cell wall, while others inhibit the ability of a virus to replicate. This internal pharmacy is what keeps a plant healthy in a microbe-rich environment. By applying aspirin, you are effectively stocking the shelves of this pharmacy in advance. Instead of waiting for an infection to take hold and then trying to fight back, the plant has a reservoir of antimicrobial weapons circulating in its sap. This proactive chemical warfare is why aspirin-treated plants often look greener and more vibrant. They aren't wasting energy, fighting, losing battles. Chapter 6. Mitigating environmental stress. Agriculture is a constant gamble against the elements, and the aspirin trigger helps skew the odds in the farmer's favor. It isn't just about pests. Salicylic acid plays a crucial role in how plants manage abiotic stress, like heat, cold, and salt. When a plant is treated with aspirin, it regulates its stomata, the tiny pores on the leaves, more effectively. This helps the plant retain water during a heat wave, preventing the wilting that often leads to crop failure. In the movie, Watney had to manage the extreme temperature fluctuations of Mars. On Earth, our plants face erratic weather patterns. The aspirin hack stabilizes the plant's internal water pressure, allowing it to remain turgid and functional even when the sun is scorching or the soil is dry. It turns the plant into a resilient organism that can maintain its physiological balance under extreme environmental pressure. Chapter 7. Boosting the floral response. For many growers, the ultimate goal is not just a healthy plant, but a productive one. The aspirin trigger has a surprising side effect. It can significantly increase flowering and fruit set. Because salicylic acid is a hormone, it influences the transition from vegetative growth to reproductive growth. When a plant feels threatened by the aspirin signal, its biological imperative is to ensure the next generation. It shifts resources toward producing flowers and seeds. In trials, pepper and tomato plants, treated with an aspirin foliar spray, showed a marked increase in the number of blossoms. Furthermore, because the plant is healthier and less stressed, it is less likely to drop its blossoms prematurely. This leads to a higher harvest yield. The hack doesn't just save the plant, it forces the plant to perform at its peak, transforming defensive energy into a bounty of fruits. Chapter 8. The proper dilution ratio precision is the difference between a miracle cure and a toxic mistake. In The Martian, a single miscalculation in air pressure would have been fatal. Similarly, using too much aspirin can burn a plant's leaves or stunt its growth. The secret to the gem is the ratio, approximately 250 to 300 milligrams of aspirin per gallon of water. This is roughly one standard strength aspirin tablet. The tablet must be crushed into a fine powder and dissolved completely often. Easier if started in a small amount of warm water first. Adding a drop of mild liquid soap acts as a surfactant, helping the solution stick to the waxy surface of the leaves rather than beading off. This precise concentration mimics the plant's natural hormonal levels, providing just enough of a scare to trigger the immune system without causing any actual physiological harm. Chapter 9. Application techniques and timing. How you apply the aspirin trigger is as important as the solution itself. The most effective method is a foliar spray, as the leaves have direct receptors for salicylic acid. The spray should be fine, coating both the tops and bottoms of the leaves where many pathogens hide. Timing is also critical to get the best results. Start the treatment when the plants are young, just after they have established their first set of true leaves. Applying the spray every 3 to 4 weeks maintains the alert status of the immune system. It is best to spray in the early morning or late evening to avoid leaf scorch, which happens when the sun's rays are magnified through water droplets. This rhythmic application keeps the plant's systemic acquired resistance active throughout the entire growing season, providing a season-long shield against the invisible threats. Chapter 10. From seeds to harvest, the hack begins even before the plant breaks the soil. Soaking seeds in a very weak aspirin solution for a few hours can significantly improve germination rates. This pre-primes the embryo, giving the seedling an immediate advantage the moment it emerges into a world full of soil-borne pathogens. As the plant grows, the aspirin continues to support its development. In the mid-season, when the weather turns humid and fungal spores are at their peak, the aspirin trigger prevents the damping off, or root rot, that kills many young crops. By the time the harvest approaches, the plant has spent its life in a state of optimized health. This results in fruit that is often larger and more nutrient, as the plant was able to focus its energy on nutrient uptake rather than constant, frantic repairs from pest damage. Chapter 11. The economic impact. Why is this hack considered a super gem? Because it replaces expensive synthetic fungicides and pesticides with a product that costs pennies. In larger-scale agriculture, chemical inputs are one of the highest overhead costs. For a small farmer or a home gardener, the aspirin trigger offers a way to achieve professional-grade results without the chemical footprint. By reducing the need for toxic sprays, you also protect the beneficial insects in your garden, like bees and ladybugs, which are often collateral damage in traditional pest control. The economic value isn't just in the low cost of aspirin, but in the salvaged harvest. Preventing a single outbreak of late blight in a tomato patch can save hundreds of dollars worth of produce. It is the ultimate example of low-tech, high-impact innovation that empowers the grower over the chemical manufacturer. Chapter 12. Real-world evidence. The aspirin trigger isn't just folklore. It is backed by university studies and horticultural research. The University of Rhode Island, among others, has conducted trials showing that plants treated with salicylic acid grew faster and were significantly more resistant to common garden pests. Commercial greenhouses have begun experimenting with salicylic acid as a way to reduce their reliance on harsh chemicals. In the movie, Watney used science to bridge the gap between certain death and survival. In our world, farmers are using this hack to bridge the gap between traditional gardening and high-yield sustainability. From organic vineyards in Europe to subsistence farms in Africa, the use of this simple trigger is proving that biological intelligence is often more powerful than chemical brute force. The results are visible in the vibrant green of the leaves and the weight of the harvest. Chapter 13. The final resilience. As we return to the scene from the movie, we see that survival is about more than just water and light. It is about the will to endure. The aspirin trigger is the horticultural manifestation of that will. It teaches us that plants are not passive victims of their environment, but active participants in their own survival. By using this hack, you are entering into a partnership with the plant's own ancient biology. You provide the signal, and the plant provides the defense. This summary of the Aspirin trigger reveals a fundamental truth of agriculture. The most powerful tools are often the simplest ones hidden in our medicine cabinets. Whether you are a stranded astronaut or a backyard hobbyist, understanding the language of stress allows you to turn a vulnerable sprout into a resilient survivor, ensuring life finds a way.